Welcome to the political and social interview series organized by the National Movement for Social Justice. Through this interview series, we aim to bring forward the voices of the leaders and thinkers who can help us to understand the current most pressing social, political and economic issues in Sri Lanka. Today our guest is Mr. V. Anandasangaree. Ayubowan Mr. Anandasangaree, a senior Tamil veteran politician who is the current political leader of the Tamil United Liberation Front. With his long years of political experience, he has been a key voice in the national debates. So with his discussion, today we will focus on to discuss about the political needs of the country and listen to his ideas on how to build a more just, democratic and united nation.
Thank you very much for calling. I am very happy, that I have been waiting for an occasion like this because our people in the sense Tamil people, Tamil media people, they are not very fair by me. They have been very cruel to me, very cruel, because I had been too patriotic. That's the thing. That's a big complaint I had been making, and they don't also care about it. They more antagonize me, more and more antagonism I get, but yet they couldn't change me. I stand on my own. I think on my own. And my thinking and the correct stand I take also seem to be correct.
To begin the discussion, I would like to start with Mr. Anandasangaree's political career. Mr. Sangaree, you first started politics with Lanka Samasamaja Party, socialist ideologies. But later you moved into the Tamil nationalist political movements and currently you are holding the leadership of the Tamil United Liberation Front. So what made you to take this transition?
Actually, what made me to join is the first question you could ask. What made me to join the NSS?
Yes.
I was a socialist.
Yes.
I like to serve the common people. So I found LSSP as the most suitable party for me to join. So I joined the party, I worked with them, I contested a number of elections also on their behalf. Then at one stage I had to break away. It's interesting now. When I broke away, everybody was very angry. But however, I took a correct stand. Certain things you can't sell to our people, no? Certain things. About as far as our ethnic problem is concerned, I have been very fair. My suggestions have been very fair. My solution also that has been suggested has been very fair. But yet there are people who will not accept it, you see. So that is the reason perhaps why I crossed over. I'll tell you when the time comes, I'll tell you why I love the LSSP. I even today I regret. Although 40 or 50 years have passed, even today my first regret is, why did I leave the LSSP? I am unable to convince myself, although at that time something made me to do that. Now I can't, I am unable to convince me why I did that. I should have stuck on. But the leaders were so good, though, so honest, so helpful also, and non-committal above all. So that made me to join the NSSP. Why I left it is because of some small matter, and I'll tell you in the course of the discussion if I get a chance. Merely because some people some youngsters, in anger, they were doing so. Everybody was very jealous about the LSSP taking the Tamils correct side. So the Tamils should have voted for the LSSP. I still point forward with them for discarding the LSSP. But later I started blaming me also for leaving the party. Now it is still, because there were people who took us the correct path. Unfortunately, some boys, young chaps, you see, in desperation, shouted some anti-Tamil slogans, you see, that made me to feel so I shouldn't have reacted to that extent.
Yes.
I should have just managed and then that is how I started my politics also. I had to live under some competing circumstances at the time. Communalism was at its height. very high. All the top ranking people, all of them, not all I would say, one section. The educated crowd was much, very much better. But the rank and file, they get swayed easily. Easily get swayed when somebody talks on. Now see, my politics would have been very successful if I had not broken away from the LSS. I regret, even now I regret, because I had enough reasons to justify my failure, to justify my leaving the party. Yeah, even up to now, I used to say, I made a mistake. The biggest mistake in politics was leaving the LSS.
For the second, I would like to ask, as a leader representing the Tamil people in the East and North and East, how do you see the work your party has done so far to solve their problems? And also, what achievements you think that you have, as the Tamil United Liberation Front, have achieved so far?
Understandable now, because the other people who fight, So when they feel their leaders are let down or something is happening to their party, they got very angry and they started attacking me. So I had no way out. When because they were attacking me, I can't keep it. No, I had to bury it. So you have a lot of false propaganda has been going on. Really. I'll give you just one incident. There was at one stage, K.B. Ratnagar was my good friend. He came into Ananda, then I was on JVP boy for rehabilitation. So I want to have a camp for about 6 months. And would you please move to object? I said, yeah, boys. No, you are paying them to young boys. There was a school, abandoned school, they used that. My God, the amount of campaign and the anti-Anandasangaree campaign going on at the time. I have brought some terrorists from the south, the north, all that. They won't spare you. They tear you to pieces. But they are more in number. No? Yes. I guess small in number. That's the main defect we had. So the politics would have been very good if our people had accommodated the LSSP's stand and worked with them. That is a big failure of the part of the Tamil leadership. I still used to blame our people who were still living. Some of them who were anti-LSSP and now living.
When we move into the power sharing and the national issue of Sri Lanka, your former leader, SJV Chelvanayagam, is the one who firstly talked about the federal system is best for Sri Lanka, but later other leaders talk about the self-governance, but currently you are proposing a power sharing system which is similar to the Indian model. So what take you to lead that? What factors led you to this position?
You take it from me, that is the best solution ever proposed. I'm really proud about it, although it had been not been accepted by many people. I am still still of the opinion. Very soon, one day, the Sri Lankans will accept the Indian model, because among the singular leadership, when I first proposed the Indian model as a solution, I met 10 ministers, people like Ranil Wickremesinghe and 10 ministers, and all of them agreed that my proposal was good. So I was surprised why it didn't carry weight. Why people didn't contribute it? Why Tamils didn't accept it? Because they didn't want me to rise up. So they wanted sabotage. Up to now, did you ever see anyone from the Tamil community other than me talking about the Indian model? Had they condemned it? No. If you don't like it, condemn it. If you are not condemning it, then you like it. So something prevents you from talking about it. Did you see anyone talking about the Indian model other than me and some single leaders? Single leaders, the top ranking leaders accepted it. No? Top ranking leaders. But I don't want to say which party was against it or which party condemned it. No one had any reason to condemn it. And that is the best. I still stand by it. Even yesterday I was talking about it. I have not gone back on it. I had not chosen any alternative also. I still stand by my Indian model. That is, I think, very reasonable people think that's a good model. How many types of people, how many languages, 300, 400 languages, different communities. They all live together.
Looking to the future, the stability of the Sri Lanka depends on building a nation state through a consensus among all communities, including all ethnicities and religions. So, what suggestions and interventions would you put forward to achieve this vision?
I tell you, I don't know whether you are aware, in those days, when we had the Tamil medium, Sinhala medium separately, there used to be some important personalities, who write well. So you take civics, some author will go on for every class. See number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, like that. It goes up to it. Then they come to university level, then somebody takes over, then university and does divide. When I was a kid, the first lesson in history, even 5-year-old children or 6-year-old children had to learn some history from the very beginning. Now you don't. Now they go to learn history only at the university. At that time, book 1, history of Sri Lanka. That is for grade 1. Book 2, grade 2. Book 3, grade 4. Like that, civics. There was a great leaders like authors like S.F.D. Silva. For every class, it improves from little by little. Strangely enough, the first lesson in history I still remember. There's a place called Lala Nad in India. We start with Bija. I just very fresh to school. First lesson daily, somebody came from India. Somebody came from, somebody was ruling India. Somebody from that family came here. Then little by little it goes on increasing. At one stage, when they go to the higher classes, then they talk about Mahavamsa, how Vijaya sent emissaries to propose marriage for his daughter, how Vijaya was mistaken for a demon descendant, because the king accepted the proposal, and gave his eldest daughter to the Tamil king. Pandian king, the Pandian kingdom was known all over the world at that time. So he had the guts to make a request or send emissary, and Pandian king, without incurring from anybody, readily offered. That day, not only gave his daughter, he sent along with 700 young girls to suit the Vijaya's company. And in addition to 1,000 families, various art, crafts and all. That shows we are one. I used to ask my people, you see a lot of Sinhalese talking communism. Did you ever see any Sinhala woman talking ill of Tamil? No. Up to now, I have not heard that. Why? Their mother. You see, the biggest mistake is the government. Whoever removed the history from the low class, where we learn how this kind of country developed, all that was gone, you see, with the they did away history. They made it social studies and some nonsense. I don't know what is happening now. So that is the thing, our people should be held responsible for this. Who abolished it? Why there's a textbook for all the classes. Why did somebody meddle with it? If they had not meddled with it, our people, the boys will be saying, our Sinhalese are our cousins. Now they don't say that. Now full of venom. Even now, no one talks about it. Only I am talking about it. But there was a time when very many people were talking about it. So this communalism was deliberately introduced into the country. So it's a very unfortunate, I hope it will not be out of place if I mention this. When I was a small child, just going to school, my father was a teacher at the time, later he became principal. He gave me a small stanza and asked me to learn by it, and he gave me a small bribe of 5 cents or 10 cents to buy it. You know, but it was, the author was one, I have now forgotten one Scotch, British poet. Breathes here a man with soul so dead, who never to himself has said, "This is my own, my native land." So that poet is asking, is there a man who at least not opened, at least within himself, had not said that this is my own, my native land? Then he is not to be a patriot. He is a real patriot. That got deeply buried in my heart. I love this country more than anything else. I do anything for this country. That's so the planning was wrong. Our planning went wrong. That is how I look at it. So this is a very important payment. Even now, I try to understand that. Just two sentences. Breathes here a man, with soul so dead, who never to himself had said, "This is my own, my native land." At least to himself, man. He didn't openly say, "This is my land." So that is the type of education we had. This is the type of the education we are now having today. The country is going from bad to worse. Why can't all these people get together and accept the Indian model? What have they got to say against it? Nothing. Everyone accepts it. I told him at least 10 ministers accepted it. I can mention the names. I don't want to mention now. If you want to private, I can. And deal in them. Even the Rajapaksa was supported. So we are missing our point. We are one after the I am now surprised to see some of these chaps still going back to the 1930s, 40s, 45. We are in 2006 now, today. So the legislators are to be blamed. That's what I would say. Would you believe if I say people who should be charged for murder, Tamil leaders, are in parliament? Supposing I point out them, what will happen to me, Yeah. If I point out he did this, yeah, that's the thing today. I am now asking now say 2004. That was the best time everybody was interested in solving a problem. That was the time I got the highest number of votes in my electorate, and I got 31 now, 36 also. You know what they did? One Tamil side. Some fellow leading people got together, condemned the scenery. I wound up the Tamil voices. Went on in the propaganda that only Tamils can represent just now, something like that. And you know what they did? They didn't allow anyone to canvass. They didn't want anyone to cast their vote. No, they had their own team. They made use of the LTT youngsters, who were fresh from school. So they made use of the LTT, some militants, and made them to cast all the votes. That time the polling was in 2001, for election. Polling was 195 or 96%. Everybody voted. Every vote had been voted. Not that everyone had voted. Every vote had been cast. Not by the individual to whom that vote belonged, by the unscrupulous elements, who took over the leadership. They didn't allow any vehicles to run. They didn't allow newspapers to be published. They didn't allow handbills to be published. They took the holding in their hand, voted. One fellow, I have a member in parliament today, who claimed that he voted 70 times. If he had been in some communist country, they would have been chopped to death. He's there in parliament. And that is the thing, Today, now you take the Tamil members of parliament, I don't want to comment on anybody. I make an allegation. They are not fit to be in parliament, most of them. If anyone have the guts to say why, I have the guts to say, but I don't want to say do that. So even now, the problem is in our hands, the solution is in our hands. I haven't seen anyone drastically opposing the Indian model, except how many lakhs of people are living in India happily. We need top-ranking leaders, top-ranking people who held the top ranks in the country in the political field. They are all supporting it, but they have the fear that that will be oppressed. So the problem is ours, not the country's.
Before end of the discussion, I would like to ask about the award you win from the UNESCO in 2006.
Because I had the guts to write. If the LTD does something, I boldly write it, in spite of the threat I had for my body. I was for the, at one stage I had my security personnel were about 80. Can you imagine? But I had to write the role. That was stopped, I don't know why. Yeah, no one, I don't think anyone will have the guts to say that my life is not in danger. But I don't care for it now. I don't care for it. But I should care for it. The government should care for it. At once I told in 80, I had 80 security officers guarding me. That's the thing. Now see parliament. I would have been a lifelong member. 70 years I am, 40 years I am out of parliament because of the 2004 election. The same culprits are there. So if you strictly interpreting, I hope the present government people will not feel angry. The present government is not properly constituted because 2004, 22 people in the parliament is 225 members. One party gets 105 seats. Other party gets something, this party gets 22 seats. Yes. What would have happened if the 22 had voted this side? Why didn't they do that? Their lies and mistakes. If the 22 people had they should have kept quiet because they had no right. They had no right to talk about it because they had a culprits. What happened 2004 parliament? How? I wanted 2 years before that, there was an election. I polled 36,000 votes and came first in the district. 2 years, I had another 4 years left, parliament was dissolved. Then this group came, 22 people. 3 successive governments came to power because of them. That means for about 3 into 6, 18 years, the government was not properly constituted. It had no sovereignty. Even if you strictly interpreting, some of them who were there at that time are still in parliament. Some of them who were there at that time now have a better chance of coming to power. That I don't want to mention. You can guess. I don't want to antagonize anybody.
Thank you very much, Mr. Anandasangaree, for sharing your thoughts and ideas with us today. Your insights and political ideologies on the political needs of the country and the problems faced by the people and the important issues are very valuable, and your vision toward a united Sri Lanka is very valuable. We hope today's discussion has given our viewers new ideas to reflect, and we look forward to continuing our conversation in the next episodes. Thank you for watching us. Until the next time, stay safe and take care. Thank you very much, sir. Ayubowan.